Imagine it's the year 1600. You're just minding your own business, maybe making some soup or finally getting that garden to grow. Suddenly, your neighbor points a shaky finger at you and screams, "Witch!" Congratulations, you've just been accused of witchcraft. The witch trials were a dark period of history where logic went to die and paranoia took the wheel. But what actually made you a target? It wasn't always flying on brooms or dancing in the woods. Today, we're looking at 12 incredibly mundane reasons you'd be called a witch in the Middle Ages. Being a woman. Let's be real, this was the biggest risk factor. Historically, women were seen as more susceptible to the charms of the devil. If you were a woman, you were already halfway to an accusation. Being poor. If you were poor and had to beg for food, you were in danger. If you walked away from a house grumbling because they didn't give you bread and then their cow got sick the next day, that wasn't bad luck. That was your curse taking effect. Being wealthy. On the flip side, if you were a woman living independently with your own money, people got suspicious. Where did that gold come from? Surely not hard work. In a world where women weren't supposed to have power, wealth looked a lot like a gift from the devil. Having female friends. In the 1600s, a group of women meeting without a man present wasn't a girls' night, it was a coven, period. Having a pet. If you had a cat, a dog, or even a pet rat, it wasn't just a companion, it was a familiar, a demon in animal form sent to help you do your dark bidding. Black cats got the worst of it, but even a loyal dog could get you in trouble. Arguing with neighbors. Did you have a petty spat over a fence line or a borrowed tool? Most witch accusations weren't about magic, they were about grudges. If you won an argument, your neighbor might just use the W word to get even. Having a devil's mark. This could be anything, a mole, a birthmark, or a skin tag. Witch hunters would prick these spots with needles. If the spot didn't bleed where you didn't feel pain, you were officially a witch. Spoiled milk. Seriously, if the village milk went sour or the butter wouldn't churn, it was often blamed on a local witch lurking nearby. Apparently, the devil really hated dairy. Being a healer. If you knew which herbs cured a headache or helped with childbirth, you were interfering with God's will. In this era, helping people with medicine was often seen as just as suspicious as hurting them with magic. Not attending church. Missing Sunday service was a massive red flag. If you weren't in the pews, people assumed you were at a different kind of meeting, in the woods. Talking to yourself. If you were caught muttering under your breath, even if you were just trying to remember your grocery list, people assumed you were casting a spell. In the Middle Ages, it was better to be quiet than to be curious. Being too anything. Too beautiful? You're using magic to lure men. Too ugly? You're clearly twisted by evil. In a world governed by hysteria, you simply couldn't win. Being left-handed. Do you prefer your left hand for writing or eating? In the 1600s, that was a one-way ticket to an interrogation. The left side was called sinister, and using it was seen as a sign that you were literally walking on the left-hand path of the devil. Messing up a prayer. Imagine being terrified, standing before a judge and told to recite the Lord's Prayer perfectly. If you stuttered once, just once, it was game over. They believed that holy words would physically choke a witch, so a simple slip of the tongue was seen as a full confession. Being too lucky. If a fire swept through the village and your house was the only one left standing, don't expect a celebration. In a world of hysteria, surviving a disaster didn't make you blessed, it made you a suspect. They figured the only reason the evil missed you was because you were the one who invited it in. It's easy to laugh at these now, but thousands of innocent people lost their lives because of these absurd rules. It's a chilling reminder of what happens when fear replaces facts. So how many of these would have gotten you accused? I'd be gone for the talking to myself part for sure. Let me know your witch score in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Thanks for watching.